Hi everyone, welcome to UN College Digital Class. I am Ms. Vishwakalpita Mohanty, Head of the Department of Master in Social Work. In previous class, already we had discussed about social legislation for women and different purposes of social legislation. But in this class, we will discuss about Domestic Violence Act 2005 because we had already discussed the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961. You all know that simply domestic violence means when a woman is physically, mentally, economically and socially abused with her family members, then that is domestic violence. So, in our society there is different women are facing social abuse, physically abuse and economical abuse cases and within her family and get tortured by their family members and by husband and other family members also. So, government enacted and implemented Domestic Violence Act to prohibit the domestic violence issue in 2005, because in our society women are facing different types of problems and challenges in their life, and society is a battle for a woman to survive her life. There is some reasons for enactment of Domestic Violence Act 2005. Every woman has a right to live in violence free environment. So, before passing this act, there is no express recognition of the domestic violence in any law. The entire concept of domestic violence was restricted to cruelty, and that too only a married woman under 498A of Indian Penal Code. It did not cover within its ambit the aggrieved sister, mother, daughter or unmarried woman. Married women have only two remedies to get a decree of divorce or by resorting to section 498A. The Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005 was passed to protect the rights of women for more effectively. In our society, women are facing domestic violence issues. So, government implemented that act, and there is some reasons for enactment of this act or for implementation of this act. The Protection of Domestic Violence Act from eradicating the domestic violence issue, which is enacted in 2005. In section 1 of this act, there is subtitle Extent and Commencement. In part 1, this act may be called the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005. It extends to the whole of India except the state of Jammu and Kashmir. It shall come into force on such date as the central government may by notification in the official gazette appoint. Domestic Violence Act 2005, also known as the Act Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005, and it extends in all over the India, but not working in Jammu and Kashmir. Then in section 2 there is definition. In this act, unless the context otherwise requires, aggrieved person means any woman who is or has been in a domestic relationship with the respondent and who alleged to have been subjected to any act of domestic violence by the respondent. Aggrieved person means when a woman is a victim, when a woman is facing problem in her family and by her family members, she is known as aggrieved person or distressed person. When a woman faced problem physically and mentally abused in her family, she is known as aggrieved person. Because of problems, she is getting depressed, getting frustrated, so that she is known as aggrieved person or distressed person. Then in part B, there is child means any person below the age of 18 years and includes any adopted step of or foster child. And in section B, there is meaning of child. When a person is under 18 years, then he or she known as child. Then there is compensation order, means an order granted in terms of section 22. In part C, under section 22 there is compensation order. It means when a couple will get divorced, or when a couple will be separated from each other, then the wife will complain or file case for compensation of her maintenance of her child or children maintenance, because this is the duty of her husband, or this is the duty of her family members to compensate or to provide monetary relief or monetary facility for the woman. Then there is custody order under section 21. Custody order defines that when a couple being separated, when a couple being take divorce, then if they have child or children, then there is a issue of custody. Who will take the custody of child? If mother will take custody of child or children, then father can visit or father can meet the child. If the father will take the custody, if the father will take the responsibility of child or children, then mother can visit and meet the children. But if there is any problem arises, if the family members, if the mother or father feel that any problem arises due to visit, then magistrate will refuse, magistrate will deny the visit or deny the meeting of child and father or mother who has no responsibility or who will not take custody. Then there is domestic incident report, means a report made in the prescribed form on receipt of a complaint of domestic violence from an aggrieved person. Here is domestic incident report. When a woman facing domestic violence issue, then the aggrieved person complained a report which is known as domestic incident report. Domestic relationship means a relationship between two persons who live or have at any point of time live together in a shared household when they are related by blood relation, marriage, or through a relationship in the nature of marriage, adoption, or are family members living together as a joint family. If the aggrieved person and the respondent, when living together in a shared household because of their marriage relation, because of their family members or any blood relation, then that is known as domestic relationship. Domestic violence has the same meaning as assigned to it in section 3. In section 3 there is the meaning of domestic violence. Then part H, dowry shall have the same meaning as assigned to it in section 2 of the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961 of 28 of 1961. There is about definition of dowry and about Dowry Prohibition Act 1961 in section 2. Then part I, magistrate means the judicial magistrate of the first class, or as the case may be, the metropolitan magistrate exercising jurisdiction under the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973 2 of 1974 in the area where the aggrieved person resides temporarily or otherwise, or the respondent resides, or the domestic violence is alleged to have taken place. Here medical facility for the victim or for the aggrieved person. If the aggrieved person or distressed person need medical facility because of any health injury or because of any type of health issues, then government has to provide medical facility for her. In part K, there is monetary relief. It means the compensation which the magistrate may order the respondent to pay to the aggrieved person at any stage during the hearing of an application seeking any relief under this act to meet the expenses incurred and the losses suffered by the aggrieved person as a result of the domestic violence. Here government provided monetary relief to the aggrieved person or to the victim when a victim faced or suffered losses in monetary cases, or an woman faced financial problem, then government provide monetary relief, monetary support to that woman or to that victim to survive her life. there is notification means a notification published in the official gazette and the expression notified shall be constructed accordingly. There notification published for official gazette, then prescribed means prescribed by rules made under this act. Here some rules made for prohibition of domestic violence issue and eradication of domestic violence problem from women's society. Then protection officer means an officer appointed by the state government under subsection 1 of section 8. Under subsection 1 of section 8, state government appointed an officer who is known as protection officer to protect the women or to give facility and information about domestic violence act to the women. Then protection order means an order made in terms of section 18. Under section 18 there is an order which is known as protection order, under which the protection facilities of women are prescribed. Then residence order means an order granted in terms of subsection 1 of section 19. In section 19 subsection 1 there is residence order, in under which order government provided residence facilities or government provided shelters to the victim or to the aggrieved person to live their life and give safe shelter to her where she can live her life safely or securely. Then for J there is medical facility. In part Q, respondent means any adult male person who is or has been in a domestic relationship with the aggrieved person and against whom the aggrieved person has sought any relief under this act, provided that an aggrieved wife or female living in a relationship in the nature of a marriage may also file a complaint against a relative of the husband or the male partner. Respondent means when a woman is facing problem and who is responsible for that, or if a female living in a relationship with a male person in the nature of marriage, then she can file a complaint against the husband or against any relative of the male partner. Then section 2 what are service provider means an entity registered under subsection 1 of section 10. There is service provider. In our society many NGOs and many companies and also government provided different services to the women or who are facing domestic violence issues. Government and different NGOs working on them to provide protection to them and provide different facilities how they can survive their life in our society. So, with voluntary organizations and NGOs and different company registered under Society Registration Act, Trust Act and Company Act also, they are known as service provider. Then shared household means a household where the person aggrieved lives or at any stage has lived in a domestic relationship either single or along with the respondent and includes such a household whether owned or tenanted either jointly by the aggrieved person and the respondent. Shared household means where the aggrieved person live with the respondent togetherly in a house. They can live jointly or they can live single, that is known as shared household. Then shelter home, it means any shelter home as may be notified by the state government to be a shelter home for the purpose of this act. Under state government, different voluntary organizations which are working for providing shelter to the women who are aggrieved person or who are victim under this act and registered under different acts like Society Act, Company Act and Trust Act, then notified as shelter home by the state government, who is providing the shelter to the destitute and different women who are facing problems in our society. Then in section 3 there is definition of domestic violence. For the purpose of this act, any act, omission or commission or conduct of the respondent shall constitute domestic violence in case. Then part A of section 3, there is harms or injures or endangers the health, safety, life, limb or well-being, whether mental or physical of the aggrieved person, or tends to do so, and includes causing physical abuse, sexual abuse, verbal and emotional abuse and economic abuse. Here in section 3 there is definition of domestic violence. When a woman facing sexually abuse, emotionally abuse, verbally and emotionally abuse and also economically abuse in her family or by the family members or by the spouse or any other members, then that is known as domestic violence. Not only the woman after marriage facing domestic violence, also the unmarried girls also facing problems in her family by her brother, by her father and by other family members also. So domestic violence issue always arises in family. There is harasses, harms, injures or endangers the aggrieved person with a view to coerce her or to any other person related to her to meet any unlawful demand for any dowry or other property or valuable security. If a woman harassed or facing injures or endangers her life because of dowry or any unlawful demand or demand of property or any valuable security, then that is also known as domestic violence. In part C, there is has the effect of threatening the aggrieved person or any person related to her by any conduct mentioned in clause A or clause B. Under clause A or clause B, there is the effect of threatening. When a person threaten the aggrieved person or any person related to the aggrieved person, then that is also known as domestic violence because of dowry and because of any other facilities of because of any other valuable property and security demand. In part D, otherwise injures or causes harm whether physical or mental to the aggrieved person. For the purpose of this section, part I, physical abuse means any act or conduct which is of such a nature as to cause bodily pain, harm or danger to life, limb or health or impair the health or development of the aggrieved person and includes assault, criminal, intimidation and criminal force. When a woman is facing bodily pain or danger to life due to different acts of a person, then that is known as physically abuse. If a person getting assault, getting insult due to different types of criminal activities, then that is known as physical abuse. Then part 2, sexual abuse includes any conduct of a sexual nature that abuses, humiliates, degrades or otherwise violates the dignity of woman. Sexual abuse is unwanted sexual activity. When any type of unwanted sexual activity arises and a woman humiliates or abuses for that reason, then that is known as sexual abuse. Then verbal and emotional abuse, which includes insults, ridicule, humiliation, name calling and insults or ridicule, specially with regard to not having a child or a male child. If a woman has no child or if a woman has no boy child and giving birth to girl child, then for that reason she get insults and ridicule and humiliated by the family members, then that is verbal or emotional abuse. And part B, repeated threats to cause physical pain to any person in whom the aggrieved person is interested. If a person repeatedly threatens the person with whom the aggrieved person has attachment and she or he faced problems for the woman, and also another person threaten the person with whom the aggrieved person has attachment or aggrieved person has relation and causes physical pain, then that is known as verbally or emotionally abuse. Economic abuse includes deprivation of all or any economic or financial resources to which the aggrieved person is entitled under any law or custom, whether payable under an order of a court or otherwise, or which the aggrieved person requires out of necessity, including but not limited to household necessities for the aggrieved person and her children. If any stridhan property jointly or separately owned by the aggrieved person, payment of rental related to the shared household and maintenance. Economic abuse is a form of abuse when one intimate partner has control over the other partner's access to economic resources, that is known as economic abuse. Then disposal of household effects, any alienation of assets whether movable or immovable. If there is any movable property or immovable property, valuables, shares, securities, bonds and the like or other property in which the aggrieved person has an interest or is entitled to use by virtue of the domestic relationship, or which may be reasonably required by the aggrieved person or her children or her stridhan or any other property jointly or separately held by the aggrieved person. If there is any property jointly or separately held by the victim and they have rights on that, then prohibition or restriction to continued access to resources or facilities which the aggrieved person is entitled to use or enjoy by virtue of the domestic relationship, including access to shared household. Then section 4, here the section 4 told that information to protection officer and exclusion of liability of informant. There is information which is provided by the protection officer and also the liability of informant, who will provide the information to the victims or to the aggrieved person. Part 1 of section 4, any person who has reason to believe that an act of domestic violence has been or is being or is likely to be committed may give information about it to the concerned protection officer. Protection officer always shared information, always shared the information about the facilities provided by the Domestic Violence Act. Then no liability, civil or criminal, shall be incurred by any person for giving in good faith of information for the purpose of subsection 1. That is, under subsection 1 there is no liability for civil or criminal and shall be incurred by any person for whom giving in good faith and information. Then under section 5 there is duties of police officers, service providers and magistrate. A police officer, protection officer, a service provider or magistrate who has received a complaint of domestic violence or is otherwise present at the place of an incident of domestic violence, or when the incident of domestic violence is reported to him, shall inform the aggrieved person. If a police officer and protection officer or any service provider or magistrate are present over there where the domestic violence issue reported, they have to inform or they have to report the issue or report the incident and shall inform to the aggrieved person or the victim who is facing the domestic violence issue. In part A of her right to make an application for obtaining a relief by way of a protection order an order for monetary relief, a custody order, a residence order, a compensation order, or more than one such order under this Act. Under this Act, there is different types of order, different types of monetary reliefs and custody order and residence order, also the compensation order, through which the victim or the aggrieved person can get facilities, can get provisions for live their life or survive her life safely and securely, because all women have right to survive their life in violence free environment. Then of the availability of services of service providers, there is the availability of different service providers, because under our government there is different types of service providers, like different NGOs also providing services, and different government provisions and facilities also providing services to the women. Of her right to free legal services under the Legal Services Authorities Act 1987, 39 of 1987. There is Legal Services Authorities Act which provided the women different right and free legal services for eradicating different crimes against women. Of her right to file a complaint under section 498A of the Indian Penal Code. There is in IPC 498A, under which there is a right to file a complaint if a woman is facing problem, or if a woman is facing domestic violence issue, then she can file a complaint under 498A of Indian Penal Code. Then section 6, there is duties of shelter homes. If an aggrieved person or on her behalf a protection officer or a service provider requests the person in charge of a shelter home to provide shelter to her, such person in charge of the shelter home shall provide shelter to the aggrieved person in the shelter home. In section 6, there is duties of shelter home. If magistrate or if protection officer feel that a victim or aggrieved person has need of shelter home, and they have to provide shelter home to the aggrieved person or the distressed person, then the protection officer requests to the shelter home in charge to provide the woman or provide facilities of shelter home to the distressed person or to the aggrieved person, because when a woman is destitute, when a woman is facing problem in her home, then she has rights to get facilities from shelter home, because under our government shelter homes working for providing facilities, providing safe shelter and securities to the women. Here in this lecture we will discuss about Domestic Violence Act, which will help to eradicate the domestic violence issue from our society. But this class is not over. This will continue in our next class. So keep watching. Thank you.